Daisy's childhood friend, Eric, was called out on the school forum for being labeled a homewrecker. Eric accused me, saying I was behind it all. To stand up for him, Daisy slapped me in public. Then she kicked me out on a snowy night with barely anything on to reflect on my mistakes. She said I could come back when I realized what I did wrong. If I kept acting jealous and petty, she'd call off the engagement. Her punishment left me with a high fever and pneumonia, and I was hospitalized for a week. After that, I realized I didn't like Daisy anymore. I stopped chasing after her and didn't care about her unchecked closeness with Eric. I focused on my studies instead. Daisy thought my distancing was just a trick to get her attention back. Little did she know, on the day I was discharged, I declined the Wilsons' offer to get engaged to Daisy after graduation. I also gave up on the idea of attending Q University with her. The day after finals ended, Daisy discovered my room was empty. She called, only to find out my number was unreachable. 2 months later, she showed up at the gates of my new school, M University, red-eyed, and asked me, "Didn't we agree to go to Q University together? Why did you break your promise?" I was shocked when Daisy slapped me. My face burned, ears rang, and her angry words sounded distant. "Henry, how could you do something so nasty?" Giving Eric a hard time was tolerable, but knowing he's like a brother to me and spreading lies about him being a homewrecker is just despicable. I was numb with pain and my head spun. What edited pics? What post? What homewrecker? I stood confused, while Eric sulked behind Daisy, and a crowd of onlookers stared with disdain. "Can't believe Henry is actually this vicious," some said. "Didn't you all know how controlling he is with Daisy? It's not surprising he'd start such ridiculous drama. Slandering someone like that is so immoral." I hadn't done anything. I had no clue what they were even talking about. Misunderstood. I struggled to explain. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. As I spoke, someone gasped, "Oh my God, he's bleeding from his mouth." Daisy saw it too, and her expression froze in what looked like regret. Before she could say more, Eric loudly accused, "If it wasn't you, then who? Only you knew Daisy and I went out last night. I even told you to your face. Henry, I let your snide jabs slide before, but framing me like this is too much. Apologize or I won't leave you alone." With Eric's words, Daisy's guilt vanished. She looked at me coldly. "Apologize to Eric now." I refused to apologize for something I didn't do. My mouth kept bleeding, and finally, our classmate Jerry offered to take me to the nurse. Despite Daisy's harshness, she let me go, saying, "Go see a doctor now, but you can apologize to Eric later." Jerry took me to the nurse, and Daisy had hit me hard. My face was swollen, and my lips split. After being treated, Jerry took me home. On the way, he explained why Daisy hit me. Someone had posted photos online of Eric shirtless, right beside Daisy, who was also half-dressed. They included plenty of pictures of Daisy and Eric being overly close, calling Eric shameless for knowing Daisy and I were dating yet still interfering. The responses were flooded with insults toward Eric. Daisy and Eric were convinced I did it, but I was sure it wasn't me. I lost my phone last night and hadn't found it since. If Jerry hadn't told me, I'd be clueless. I thought it was a misunderstanding. If I cleared things up with Daisy, she'd regret it and apologize for accusing me. Instead, I faced even harsher punishment. Daisy and Eric showed up 3 hours later, with my missing phone in hand. Daisy burst into my room and threw my phone at me. "What do you have to say now?" Shocked by the posts on my phone, I said, "It wasn't me. I swear, it's been missing." "Liar. Your phone was on your desk the whole time. The account that posted it is registered to you, clearly, and you're still denying it? I seriously don't know how it got back there. I checked thoroughly this morning, didn't find a thing. This doesn't feel right. There's got to be surveillance footage in that classroom, let's check it." The cameras were busted. Daisy gave me this icy stare and said, "Henry, I'm giving you one last shot to make it right. Apologize to Eric, admit you were wrong, and promise never to do it again, and it'll be over." I didn't do it. I swear it wasn't me. Eric shouted, "All I want is fairness and an apology. Is that too much to ask? If I had done it, I'd apologize in a heartbeat. But I've been wrongly accused here. I refused to apologize and Daisy's patience snapped. She grabbed me and dragged me down the stairs, shoving me out the door. The Wilsons' mansion had like 10 or so steps. Daisy was so furious she flung the door open and shoved me down the steps with no second thoughts. I tumbled down and hit the ground. Lucky there was a thick layer of snow. Otherwise, I'd have been hurt. By the time I scrambled to my feet, the door slammed shut. Winters in J-City are brutal. Like 10 degrees below zero kind of brutal. I didn't even have my coat on when Daisy chucked me out. The cold seeped right into my bones. I banged on the door, hoping Daisy would let me back in. But she ignored me and even told the housekeeper, "Don't let him in. He needs to reflect outside." No coat, no phone, not even a dime on me. I was stuck, just pleading with Daisy to let me back inside. Daisy was relentless, ignoring all my desperate apologies and pleas. Finally, when I was shivering uncontrollably, I caved and begged for forgiveness. The bitter cold and despair stripped me of any pride. I thought my apology would make Daisy let me in, but I was wrong. Daisy's voice came from behind the door, cold and heartless. "Too late. Everything has a deadline. If you'd apologized earlier, I would have let it go. But you were stubborn, hoping to bluff your way through. You needed a lesson." She wouldn't let me in, so I just curled up by the door. Despair consumed me. With no phone, no money, and nowhere else to go but the Wilsons' place. I'm an orphan. My parents died 3 years ago in an accident. With an engagement to Daisy, I had no choice but to move from City A to J-City to live with the Wilsons. The Wilsons didn't cancel the engagement after my parents died. They welcomed me warmly, letting me stay and transferring me to Daisy's school. When I first arrived, Daisy took great care of me. She helped me through the toughest days after losing my family. Back then, she was always by my side. We'd go to and from school together, and she'd get me my favorite snacks. Whenever my stomach acted up, she got me medicine and reminded me about my diet. At school, she made it clear I was her fiancé. Daisy was pretty and smart, and her kindness drew me close. I got anxious if I couldn't see her and stuck to her like glue. But when Eric showed up from abroad and entered our lives, I got uneasy. Eric was Daisy's childhood friend. They even shared the same birthday and lived next door to each other, playing together from kindergarten to middle school. Eric went abroad with his parents in middle school but returned after 5 years when his parents' investment failed. He transferred to our school in the second half of sophomore year and constantly sought out Daisy. I wasn't happy with how much he relied on her. But my protests fell on deaf ears, and Eric's behavior only intensified. It started with him asking Daisy for tutoring, then wanting to walk to and from school together. Having lived abroad, he seemed to have no boundaries with girls, casually draping his arm over Daisy's shoulder, pulling her close. Not just that, he'd even kiss her cheek, claiming it was just a foreign greeting. If it's a foreign custom, why doesn't he do it with other girls? I felt Eric was up to something with Daisy. I told her. She said I was overreacting, that she only saw Eric as a brother. Told me to stop being paranoid and jealous. I was crazy in love with Daisy and wanted to believe her and Eric were just like siblings. But Eric kept needling me, always trying to show he meant more to Daisy than I did. Daisy would drop everything, even when I wasn't feeling well, to care for Eric if he called saying he wasn't well. She canceled movie plans with me just to help Eric find his missing cat. Even during a heavy downpour, she'd rather share her umbrella with Eric, leaving me soaked. Eric's constant calls on Daisy drove me mad with jealousy. I loathed Eric, and the tension between us was palpable. But no matter how much I hated him, I'd never resort to ruining his reputation. I know how wrong it is to slander another guy like that. So if it wasn't me, who took my phone and posted that stuff about Eric? I couldn't wrap my head around it. The cold was just too much. Eventually, I started shaking uncontrollably. My body stiffened, and I collapsed. I woke up 7 days later in a quiet hospital room. When I opened my eyes, the housekeeper watching over me was relieved. "Henry, you're awake. You scared us all." I couldn't speak, just looked weakly at the housekeeper. The nanny helped me sit up and asked, "Hungry? I made some congee for you." Have a little bit first. The doctor said you can't handle greasy food. Oh yeah, I need to call Miss and tell her you're awake. She's been here watching over you these past few days and only went home this morning after I insisted. Daisy showed up quickly. By the time she walked in, I had already finished the kanji and was leaning weakly against the hospital bed, staring at the ceiling absent-mindedly. Daisy's voice snapped me back to reality. You're awake? How are you feeling? I turned to look at Daisy. She looked exhausted, as if she hadn't rested in days. Seeing Daisy's face, the one I used to love so much, I realized I no longer felt my heart race for her. I softly replied, I'm feeling much better. Thanks for checking in. When I said thanks, Daisy's expression froze a bit. She sat next to me, holding my hand. Henry, Daisy didn't get to finish because the door burst open and Eric rushed in. Thank goodness you're awake. Henry, because of Daisy and you being sick, I'm letting go of the false accusations you made. Remember not to do it again. I looked at Eric, not in the mood to argue at all. I knew I was innocent, but what did that matter? The damage had already been done. The desperation I felt before I passed out left me with no energy to entangle with Eric. When I didn't respond, disappointment flickered across Eric's eyes, and he affectionately grabbed Daisy's arm. Daisy, you haven't rested for days. I'm worried about you. I'll watch over Henry. You go get some rest. I watched Eric holding Daisy's hand. Such an intimate gesture used to make me upset and jealous. I'd go hysterical, but now I felt absolutely nothing. I didn't want to see Eric or Daisy. I pulled my hand away from Daisy's. You should get some rest. I'm tired and want to sleep. Eric led Daisy away, leaving me staring blankly at the ceiling. For the first time, I didn't care where Daisy and Eric were going or what they were doing. Would they hug? Or would Eric take advantage of his role as the brother to get too close to Daisy? Will he unintentionally flirt with Daisy? I suddenly realized this ordeal made me forget my love and affection for Daisy. Frankly, even if she and Eric lay together, it wouldn't bother me even a little. I went back to the Wilsons on my own the day I was discharged. My room was left in a mess, with the figurine Daisy gave me shattered on the floor. The big teddy bear on my bed was all scribbled up and looked awful. The nanny behind me rubbed her hands nervously. Eric stayed here these days. He used your room and might have accidentally. It's fine. It's nothing important. I crouched down, picking up the broken figurine and throwing it in the trash. My eyes fell on the messed up teddy bear. I suddenly remembered. That bear was Daisy's first gift to me. Back when I first came to the Wilsons, I was so scared, having lost my parents, that I'd cry under the sheets at night. Daisy got me that bear to hold while sleeping. She said it would help me feel safe and less homesick. I used to cherish that bear so much, but now, looking at the dirty bear didn't stir any feelings. Auntie, throw it away. But this was from Miss. Throw it. I don't need it anymore. Auntie took the bear and left. I lay down, hearing voices outside. What's this about? Henry wants it thrown out. The bear got dirty. It's my fault. I accidentally messed it up. What's Daisy going to say? Is Henry mad? Should I apologize? Took Daisy a while to say it wasn't on purpose. Why apologize? He's just spoiled, acting all dramatic. I covered my ears, shutting out Daisy and Eric's voices. I knew Daisy and Eric were next door. I didn't want to make any noise, kept to my room. I found myself not only disliking Daisy now, but being scared of seeing her. I'm scared she'd hit me, scared she'd yell at me because of Eric. It's hard. The nanny knocked, telling me to come down for dinner. I went down slowly and found Daisy and Eric already at the table. Eric was smiling and serving food to Daisy. In a sweet voice, he said, Daisy, this is your favorite. I never forgot. I tried to stay unnoticed, sitting farther away, and began eating quietly. I used to want every moment with Daisy. Now, even eating at the same table was torture. Eric kept talking to Daisy. They served each other food and drinks. Time dragged by. I felt no joy or sadness, just awkwardness. I kept my head down, trying to be invisible. Finally, after finishing my rice, I stood up relieved. Take your time. I'm heading back to my room. Why eat so little? Didn't Nanny make your favorite fried ribs? Why didn't you touch them? Daisy questioned me with a harsh tone. I backed away, uneasy, my stomach's not good. Can't eat greasy stuff, sorry. I left quickly, feeling her cold gaze on me. She probably hates me to the core now, and I must avoid any conflict with her and Eric. That night, I lay in bed thinking. The next day, just at dawn, I got up quietly. The nanny was in the kitchen making breakfast. She looked surprised seeing me. Henry, why are you up so early? I'm in a hurry, heading to school now. I skipped breakfast and didn't wait for Daisy to carpool. I left early and took the bus to school. From Daisy's house, the bus takes a slow 2-hour ride to school. Even though I started out early, I barely made it on time. After a week away, people stared at me when I returned to school. Even though the post was deleted, everyone knew about it. It was clear as day that I was being blamed for it all. Entering the classroom meant hearing those exaggerated whispers. He's got some nerve to show up at school after what he did. If I were Eric, I'd never forgive him. That's way too much. Stay away from him. He'll do anything. His morals are totally shot, you don't want him targeting you. Hearing this stuff hurt, but I had to act like it didn't bother me and just got to my seat. Then Eric's voice came from behind me. Henry, this seat's mine now. I've been sitting next to Daisy since I transferred, never apart. Now Eric claims it's his spot. I glanced at Eric, noticing the challenge and malice in his eyes. There wasn't any point in arguing. I gathered my things and moved to the back of the room. By the time Daisy came in, I was already sitting in the last row, focused on my book. In just a week, I'd fallen behind on my classes, and I needed to catch up fast. I didn't even notice Daisy till she banged on the desk, staring at me with an unfriendly expression. Is there something you need? Looking even more upset, Daisy gritted her teeth and said, Are you ignoring me? No way. I quickly responded, realizing the joy and affection I once felt for her turned to fear. I didn't do anything. I was just reading. You can ask anyone. With a loud thump, Daisy slammed the desk, and I instantly recalled the time she slapped me. I instinctively moved back, looking at her with fear. She looked at me, head to toe, then just scoffed and walked away. The morning classes ended quickly. Eric, like usual, asked Daisy, wanna grab lunch? They're serving my favorite today. Daisy didn't reply, just glanced at where I was sitting. I quietly stood up and left through the back door. Behind me, I heard a chair get kicked over, and Daisy's frustrated voice. Competing with me? Seriously? At lunch, instead of the typical cafeteria, I chose the smaller one. After eating, I went to the library alone until it was time for class again. Daisy and Eric weren't in class. Someone said Eric had accidentally fallen and was taken to the hospital by Daisy. After school, Daisy texted me, I'm tied up, head home alone, and be safe. I took the bus back to the Wilsons without replying. With Daisy out, I felt a rare sense of freedom, enjoying a big meal before returning upstairs to study. My aunt called just before I was about to rest. She and Uncle were in Switzerland for a big deal, away for quite some time. The housekeeper must have filled her in about recent events. On the call, my aunt expressed concern for my well-being. Daisy's behavior was out of line. I didn't realize she treated you like that. I know you wouldn't do such things, and I apologize on Daisy's behalf. Please don't take it to heart. I didn't expect her trust, and it made my eyes water. It's okay, Aunt. I haven't taken it to heart. Daisy and Eric go way back, almost like siblings. Henry, you're the only one I see as worthy for Daisy. No one else compares. Once, these words would have thrilled me, but now they meant nothing. After ensuring me, she added, I'll have a word with Daisy. Just focus on your studies and don't worry about anything else. Once you both graduate, we'll plan your engagement right away. No need, Aunt. I'd rather not rush into an engagement. Her surprise at my refusal was clear. Didn't you want to get engaged quickly before? Back then, I was a kid and naive. I get it now. Let's wait until after college. There's no rush. After the call, I noticed Daisy standing there, watching me. I hadn't realized when she got there. Meeting her gaze, she coldly smirked. Henry, are you trying to stir up trouble? I looked at Daisy, puzzled. unsure how I had upset her. She stared angrily for a moment before storming out. The next morning, during breakfast, Daisy was already at the table, wrapped up in a phone call, eyes cold on me. I don't care. If he doesn't want to get engaged, then fine. It's not the end of the world for me. I could hear my aunt over the phone. What's with your attitude? Whatever. Tell him this could be a once-in-a-lifetime chance, and he better think it over. I kept my eyes down on my porridge, avoiding Daisy's glare. Her grip on the phone was tight, her tone towards Aunt clearly agitated. I knew they were talking about me, and Daisy might have regretted things. Honestly, so did I. If I had a choice, I wish I never came to the Wilsons. Thank goodness it's almost over. Just 3 more months, and after the college entrance exams, I'm out of here for good. I haven't really crossed paths with Daisy lately. She's always with Eric, going everywhere together. They eat, hang out, watch movies, and even hike. Eric's been posting a lot on social media, so everyone in class is aware. Jerry couldn't hold back and asked me, "Henry, what's up with you and Daisy?" "Nothing, really. But you guys don't interact at all anymore. You used to be different." I kept my head down, solving equations, not replying. Jerry's curiosity got the best of him. "Did you break up? Is it because of Eric? So he really did come between you two, huh?" Before I could answer, Daisy's cold voice cut in. "I thought you'd changed, but you were just waiting here, weren't you? Henry, can't teach an old dog new tricks, right?" Jerry saw the fury in Daisy's eyes and didn't dare say a word, quickly making himself scarce, leaving me to face Daisy's storm alone. She didn't hold back, scolding me mercilessly. I stayed calm, not feeling any sadness or heartache, just wanting to get back to studying. I sincerely apologized. "I'm sorry. I truly am. I know I messed up. Can you forgive me?"
No arguing, no hysterical denials.
I apologized swiftly and straight to the point. Daisy should have been satisfied, but she seemed really upset, her eyes red as she looked at me. Her hand pointing at me was even shaking. "Henry, you. Her expression startled me. Why wouldn't she accept my apology? Last time, she hit me without an explanation because of Eric. Gathering my courage, I pointed to my face. "If you're still mad and can't forgive me, slap me like last time." Daisy was taken aback, watching me with clenched fists. I closed my eyes, waiting, yet no expected pain came. Instead, I heard a loud bang. I opened my eyes just in time to catch Daisy's back as she walked away. She didn't hit me. Instead, she angrily knocked over a table and left. I apologized to Jerry, who was dumbstruck, helped him pick up the books, and went back to calmly studying as if nothing happened. Daisy didn't return to class, and as always, Eric was gone with her. I kept attending classes and returned to the Wilsons to study in my room. Later, a call came in from Daisy's best friend, Sandy. "Henry, Daisy drank too much. Can you come get her?" Without hesitation, I refused. Call a driver or get her a cab. I used to treat Daisy like a treasure, never turning down such requests. Sandy wasn't expecting my refusal, hesitated, then said, "You should really come. She's having a fit and no one else can handle her. Let Eric handle it. His words work better than mine." Sandy, annoyed by my reluctance, retorted, "What's wrong with you, Henry? Just come. Why all the excuses? Sandy and Daisy are really close. Her asking is practically Daisy asking." I had no choice but to get dressed and head out. I followed Sandy's directions to their room, hearing voices inside. Sandy was speaking. "Daisy, are you sure you want to cut ties with Eric because of Henry? You're tighter with Eric than anyone. This makes no sense." Daisy replied, "I know it's not good, but you saw how jealous Henry is. He likes me and would do anything for me. He hurt Eric before. I'm afraid he'll do it again." Sandy defended, "You really like Henry that much? You're losing yourself for him? It's not about liking him. It's responsibility." Daisy sighed. "Our parents arranged it. Now that his parents are gone, I can't just abandon him. It's my duty. As long as he doesn't do anything extreme, he's my husband for life." So all this time, Daisy viewed me as a responsibility. And I forced a bitter smile. Thankfully, after last time, I've been seeing things clearer. Otherwise, her words would have crushed me. I knocked heavily on the door, cutting off their conversation. Casually stepping in, I kept a distance from Daisy. "Can we go now?" Daisy stared but didn't move. Sandy said, "Daisy's drunk. Help her up." I didn't want to touch Daisy, but I had no choice. As I supported her, she leaned heavily against me. The smell of alcohol mixed with her perfume was nauseating, but I pushed through, dragging us outward. Not a word was said. I didn't ask why she drank so much or if she needed hangover meds. It was like a task, helping her into the car. I shut the door, sat up front, and told the driver to go. All the way back to the Wilsons, I kept my eyes closed, going over vocabulary. Daisy seemed uncomfortable in the back seat, making noise, but I didn't turn, focused only on my studies until we arrived. As soon as we stopped, Daisy stumbled out before I could help. She refused assistance, and I sensibly kept a distance of about 10 meters behind her. My aunt heard the noise and came out to check, helping Daisy and asking if she was all right. Seeing this, I felt a wave of relief, turned around, and quietly went upstairs back to my room. Once back in my room, I lay down without any more distractions and had a good night's sleep. The next morning, I got up early as usual, ready to head to school. But when I went downstairs, I saw Daisy sitting on the couch in the living room. We locked eyes, and I reluctantly greeted her with a forced smile. "Morning. Morning. Let's have breakfast and leave together." I was a bit surprised by Daisy's attitude, but I didn't really need it now. "No thanks. I'm in a hurry, so I won't wait." As I moved past her towards the door, Daisy grabbed my hand. "Henry, do you really hate me?" "Hate? Definitely not. The Wilsons have done a lot for me. I have no right or reason to hate Daisy. I had once thought Daisy liked me, and I liked her back. I depended on her, thought I couldn't be without her. But after she slapped me and left me outside to freeze, I realized Daisy didn't like me at all. No one would be so harsh to someone they actually liked. Hearing her last night say she only felt responsibility and duty towards me made me feel even more at ease. I don't hate Daisy, not even a little bit. The only thing I need to do now is focus on my studies, get into the university I want, and stay completely away from Daisy. Daisy still stared at me, waiting for a response. I shook my head. "No, nothing like that. I don't hate you, and there's no reason to. I know you blame me for what happened, so you're being distant. How about this? You can slap me, 10 times if it will even things out." I shook my head. "You're overthinking it. The last incident was all my fault. If I had admitted my mistake and apologized earlier, nothing would have happened. Really, I brought it upon myself. I don't blame anyone." "You say you don't blame anyone, but you still give me the cold shoulder? Act like a stranger?" "I'm not giving you the cold shoulder. I just don't want to be locked out again. That slap hurt, and that night was freezing and miserable. I never want to experience that pain again. If you hadn't done anything wrong, who would have locked you out?" Daisy said as she let go of my hand. I lowered my head and calmly said, "I'm not perfect. I can't guarantee I won't make mistakes. To prevent myself from hurting others again, it's better if we keep our distance. That way, no innocent people get hurt. I never hurt anyone, but I also can't prove that it wasn't me who posted those mean things about Eric. The posts came from my phone, even though I have no idea when I registered an account or got those pictures and videos of Eric and Daisy. The fact that the post came from my phone is undeniable, and I've already been punished for it. I don't know if such things will happen again. I just know that staying away from Daisy and Eric means I won't get hurt. I thought I made it clear. I assumed Daisy's pride wouldn't let her keep pushing me. But surprisingly, she insisted I have breakfast with her and go to school together in the same car. Since the incident, this was the first time Daisy and I appeared at school together. When we entered the classroom one after another, Eric greeted us with a grin. "Daisy, you and Henry made up." Daisy didn't reply, just told Eric, "Move back to your seat. This one's Henry's." I saw Eric's face turn stormy. His eyes flashed with anger, but he quickly masked it. He playfully said to Daisy, "Daisy, can I move later? I need your help with a math problem." With Eric clinging to Daisy for help, I felt relieved as I took a seat further back. Honestly, sitting with Daisy made me anxious. I truly didn't want to. I hoped Eric would find a way to keep me from changing seats. During a break, I went to the bathroom and Eric followed me. He stopped me at the door. "Henry, we need to talk." Seeing the malice in Eric's eyes, I agreed without fuss to follow him to a stairwell corner. Away from everyone else, Eric dropped his fake smile completely. "You know what? You're really annoying. Just downright irritating." I watched Eric quietly as he sneered. "You seem to have some tricks. Even after all this, you got Daisy to be all friendly again. Must have felt great when she shooed me away just now, right?" "Do you think I felt great?" I replied coolly. "Having her defend you didn't make you happy? I've never seen anyone as shameless. Clinging to Daisy with some fake childhood engagement. Acting like a poor orphan to squeeze pity out of her and make her feel obligated to you. You know, Daisy doesn't love you. She loves me. She only feels sorry for you and thinks she owes you something." Eric thought his words would make me furious, but instead, I was completely calm. I already knew. "You knew?" Eric looked dumbfounded. "You knew she didn't like you but still cling to her? Wow, Henry, you've got no shame." "I'm not clinging to Daisy." I emphasized every word. "Oh really? Sure, you're not playing hard to get now, huh? You used to follow her around like a shadow, like glue. And now you're trying a different angle, hoping sitting next to her will bring things back to what they were? Dream on. Quit being such a pest." I frowned, looking at Eric's angry face. "Watch your mouth. I'm not shameless. How do you want me to be polite? Daisy and I grew up together. She liked me ever since we were kids. Who do you think you are, popping up out of nowhere to try and split us up?" I looked at Eric's twisted expression, feeling kind of tired. "If you keep talking about this meaningless stuff, I'm done here." When I turned to leave, Eric blocked my way. "Hold on. I haven't finished talking. Do you know what Daisy and I were doing at the hotel that night? We kissed." I didn't react at all, just continued to stare blankly, which made Eric grit his teeth. "Oh, and you know about those posts and photos with Daisy? I know it was you who leaked them, you know?" Eric looked at me, surprised. "How could you possibly know?" I watched Eric's shocked face and smiled silently. How could I not know Eric set me up? Wasn't it obvious? I was sure I hadn't done anything dirty like that. At first, I actually thought someone was trying to frame Eric, and I tried to find out who was framing him and setting me up. But then Eric moved to sit with Daisy, and they got even closer. Meanwhile, I got a slap in the face, nearly froze to death, and got judged and gossiped about. Eric, the so-called victim, got more of Daisy's attention and care, while I, who did nothing wrong, became the one everyone wanted to see suffer. If Eric didn't like Daisy and really just saw her as a sister, I'd believe he was really the victim. But all this time, he's been asserting his dominance over me, and I finally figured it out. There's no such thing as a victim here, it's just about who played whom. The moment I realized Eric was the one who made those posts, I thought about telling Daisy. But seeing Daisy's attitude, I let it go. I wasn't sure I could make her believe me, so I gave up on telling her everything. I didn't expect Eric to come to me and spill the truth himself. His motives were obvious to anyone. Eric looked pretty ugly, clearly underestimating his intelligence. He always thought he could lead me by the nose. "So what if you know I messed with you?" He sneered arrogantly. "I won't hide it, I stole your phone that day. Daisy told me your phone password. I used your phone to create an account and posted all those photos and videos I secretly took to frame you." Eric wasn't scared of me at all. After laying it all out, he didn't forget to provoke me. I thought Daisy wouldn't believe me that easily. Didn't expect her to soften just because I acted wronged. Guess she doesn't like you enough. You're right. She didn't like me enough. That's why you got your chance. But you really are shameless. I sighed. So why did you ask me here today? Definitely not just to confess you framed me. Huh? Let me guess. Daisy is distancing herself from you, and you're desperate. You wanted me here to set me up again, right? Eric's expression twisted. Didn't expect you to figure that out? Of course, so are you going to make a move or not? If not, I'm out. Seeing me blatantly call out his plot, Eric's eyes turned vicious. Since you're so eager to die, don't blame me. Henry, you're dead. As he spoke, he suddenly leaned backward. Eric was about to fall over the railing down the steps. The steps weren't high enough to kill him, but would definitely hurt. Eric wanted to frame me for pushing him, like last time when he spread those rumors to make Daisy hate me. I was ready for Eric's move, though. As he fell back, I grabbed his hand and pulled him up. Trying to jump and blame me for pushing you? You really are committed, aren't you? I won't let you get away with it. You won't jump. No matter what, I won't let you. He cursed me. Let go of me. Henry, you piece of trash. Let go. No way. Unless you drop the act and stop trying to frame me. I'll never let you go. You bastard. Let go or I'll make you pay. Ignoring his foul words, I held on tight, pushing his head into the wall. Eric pleaded. Let go. Henry, please let go. Only if you promise not to jump. I won't let go otherwise. The pain on his scalp was too much, and Eric had no choice but to give in. Let me go, I won't jump. I won't accuse you. I loosened my grip, and Eric's face twisted into a sneer. You're dead. I swear you're dead. Saying that, he fell over the railing and tumbled down. I stayed on the steps, watching Eric roll down and scream like crazy. Help! Help! In no time, a group of people came rushing over at the sound of Eric's cries. Eric was lying on the ground, shrieking. Henry pushed me. It hurt so much. I saw Daisy rush over in a panic. Seeing Eric lying there in pain, she was both worried and angry, shouted at me. What happened? Tell me what's going on. A student who arrived first answered. It seems like Henry pushed Eric off. Why would you push Eric? Have you gone nuts, Henry? On the ground, Eric whimpered. It hurts so much. Daisy, it hurts so badly. Am I gonna die? Someone who's dying wouldn't be talking so much trash. I smirked silently, keeping my lips sealed, as Daisy glared at me. You're unbelievable. She pushed past me, running to Eric's side to help him up. The moment she touched Eric's hand, he squealed like a pig. It hurts so bad. With the school nurse arriving shortly after, all they could do was contact an ambulance since Eric's screams showed real pain, not just an act. His arm broke in the fall, so they rushed him to the hospital since the school nurse couldn't treat it. Daisy hopped into the ambulance too, and before the doors shut, she shot a threat my way, gritting her teeth. Just you wait. This ain't over. I knew it wasn't over. Stuff like this gives the school admins a real headache. They called me in for a chat and rang Eric's parents right away. They grilled me about why I supposedly pushed Eric. I stuck to my guns, saying Eric fell on purpose, no pushing involved. When they couldn't get anything out of me, Eric's folks came rushing in, hot under the collar. Eric's mom burst in, cussing up a storm, and even looked like she wanted to take a swing at me. The admins had to step in. She was throwing around threats about getting me expelled or calling the cops. I calmly told Eric's parents, call the cops. Please, let's get the police involved. Hearing I wasn't backing down, they stopped talking about calling the cops. Instead, they tried to strong-arm the admins to boot me out for allegedly being a threat to their boy. The school was fed up and rang up my aunt and uncle. Pretty soon, Auntie's on the phone with me, asking, Henry, what's really going on? Auntie, I didn't push him. He jumped. I half expected her to be like Daisy and not believe me, maybe even accuse me of lying. But she didn't. Okay, I trust you. What do you need us to do? Report it to the police, Auntie. Let them sort this out. I was set on getting the cops involved, and my aunt and uncle backed me up. Meanwhile, not a peep from Eric's side about involving the police. His mom switched from aggressive to sweet-talking me. She suggested I transfer schools and apologize to Eric, saying they'd drop it if I did that. Of course, I wasn't having it. Then I got a call from Daisy. She laid into me, fuming. What's wrong with you? Are you 3 years old? Do you even realize you broke the law? If I broke the law, let the law deal with it. No need for your input. She got even angrier. So, you're gambling with your future? You better think this through, Henry, and get to the hospital to apologize, or things will get nasty. Is that Eric's idea or yours? I shot back. Does it matter? What matters is you messed up and need to face the music. Eric's willing to drop it if you just apologize. You really want this going to the cops? For sure, I wanted it reported. I told her plainly, if you don't call the cops, I'll do it myself. In the end, I called the police. They showed up and asked me what happened, but I didn't say a word. I just played the recording on my phone. Eric's threatening voice filled the room, and the cops didn't look too impressed when they heard it. This is outrageous, they exclaimed. Eric's bold parents turned pale, and the school heads were shaking their heads. I asked the cops deliberately, I want to know, how do you guys handle someone falsely accusing another? Is there legal responsibility involved? Absolutely. Eric's once cocky parents quickly changed their tune, talking about coming to an agreement and asking for forgiveness for not raising their son right. They even offered compensation, which I turned down, only wanting one thing: to have Eric's slanderous recording played loud and clear for everyone to hear, so they'd see Eric's true colors. In the end, Eric's mom slapped herself a few times and got on her knees to beg me to let Eric off the hook. Eric was foolish. Please, give him another shot. We'll keep him in line. I smirked at her and said coldly, I want an apology and an admission from Eric. Plus, I want compensation for my emotional distress. Eric's parents didn't dare disagree. They'd rather settle quietly than have Eric's antics exposed and ruining his reputation. After hours of back and forth, they caved. They paid me $500,000 in damages, promised Eric would apologize, and swore he wouldn't bug me anymore. But they had terms too, wanting me to promise to bury the recording issue, to never speak of it again. When the money hit my account, I handed over the recording to Eric's parents. After wrapping it up, I returned home, acting like it was any other day. Dinner, chill, and sleep. Daisy didn't come back that day, and I didn't bother asking. She sent me a barrage of texts, grilling me on why I wouldn't let her dear little brother off the hook. She wanted me to apologize to Eric to patch things up. Her last message was about how Eric was willing to let it slide. I didn't respond to a single word. The next morning was a Saturday, but I got rudely awakened by the sound of my door being kicked open. I groggily sat up to see Daisy standing there. I've called and messaged you a ton. Why didn't you answer? I answered lazily. I turned my phone off. You turned it off? Seriously? And now you're sleeping in? Daisy looked at me like I was crazy. Henry, do you even get the mess you're in from yesterday? Eric's arm is broken. Do you know what that means? A level 10 disability which could get you jail time. I gave a mock scared face, so she changed her tone a bit. Listen, thanks to me, Eric's decided not to press charges. He's dropping the apology too. Really? He doesn't care if I apologize? I asked, smirk on my face. Daisy got a bit ticked off. What's with the attitude? This is thanks to my persuasion. Even if Eric's letting it go, you need to do something. You must come and apologize to Eric with me. Worried I might not go, she added, by the way, Eric and I are clean and innocent. I've always thought of him as a brother, so don't get any weird ideas in the future. After breakfast, Daisy dragged me to the hospital. Eric's whole family was in the room, looking somewhat alarmed when I walked in. I looked at Eric, his hand in a sling, with a smirk. Weren't you going to apologize? Now's the time. Eric's parents quickly got up. We'll step out so you two can talk it out. Daisy followed, reminding me, Henry, this is your last chance. You better apologize properly or else what? I looked at Daisy coldly. Daisy avoided my gaze. If you bully Eric again, then our engagement is over. The room went silent. I stared at Daisy's face for a moment, then turned slowly to look at Eric. Eric's face was as pale as snow, clutching tightly to the bedsheet with his uninjured hand. I could see him trembling. Can you blame him for shaking? He's definitely torn up inside, scared I might reveal the truth and ruin his plotting. Most of all, he's afraid of me taking Daisy away. But I'm not about to make a foolish move again. If Daisy's slap before was because she was in the dark, her unwavering trust in Eric now has left me completely disappointed in her. You can be kind and innocent, but not stupid. I don't know how Eric earned Daisy's blind trust, but the way she cares for him makes me feel sick. I can't imagine marrying a woman like her and watching her hurt me over another guy. It's like living in hell, worse than dying. In a way, I'm grateful to Eric for exposing Daisy's true nature to me. After Daisy's threat, she shut the door. I looked coldly at a pitiful Eric on the bed. You ready to apologize? Show some sincerity or else. Eric's arrogance vanished. He's a natural actor, tears flowing on command. His apology was well rehearsed, but to me it was boring. Eric concluded, I'm thinking of taking time off school. Is that so? I asked with a faint smile. All the past stuff was my fault. I've seen the error of my ways. To stop bothering you and Daisy, I've decided to stay away and take a break from school. It's well thought out, you can trust me. Trust him? I'd be crazy to do that. Eric isn't the type to change. I could see the lies in his eyes. I've guessed what Eric is scheming, but I didn't call him out. It's his business, not mine. The tension between Daisy, Eric, and me eased up for the time being. I threw myself into studying wholeheartedly. From the outside, it looked like Daisy and I had returned to our old ways, going to and from school together. But I didn't feel our relationship could ever be the same. I avoided physical contact with Daisy, spoke to her politely but distantly. If she asked questions, I'd answer, but I never initiated conversations. Daisy kept busy, studying, taking soup to Eric at the hospital, helping him with schoolwork. According to her, she was making up for my past mistakes. Initially, she wanted to take me along, but I refused. With finals around the corner, I was too busy to play along. Eventually, Daisy went to help Eric on her own, always sending me texts, pictures, and videos to reassure me of their innocence. But why would I care? I've been planning to move out of the Wilsons' place. Back then, I had nowhere to go and needed their help because people were eyeing the inheritance left by my late parents. Now that I'm about to become an adult, I'll soon use the law to reclaim what's mine. With money and confidence, I don't need anyone's protection. It's time to part ways with Daisy. I've started packing my stuff at the Wilsons, bit by bit. Daisy was busy with school and hospital visits, oblivious to my room slowly emptying out. A week before finals, I packed up all the gifts Daisy gave me over the past 3 years. When Daisy suddenly came in and saw me packing, she paused. What are you doing? Packing, I replied calmly. If Daisy paid attention, she'd notice the clues. But clearly, her mind was elsewhere. She sat heavily on my couch, looking grim. Eric took a break from school. I glanced at her blankly. Daisy's eyes held blame. His hand isn't healing and now it's infected. He can't take finals. If you hadn't pushed him, he wouldn't have to take time off. He'd be taking finals with us, getting great grades. Daisy's worry over Eric was causing her to act irrationally. It's just a broken arm. Yet Eric has stayed in the hospital, dragging it out for a month. Now there's this supposed infection. Anyone thinking straight would be suspicious, but not Daisy. She's probably so smitten with Eric that she doesn't doubt him. I've been getting photos and videos on my phone of Daisy with Eric. She tutors him, feeds him, peels fruit for him. Stuff she doesn't even do at home, leaving it to the housekeepers. So it seems like Daisy really, really loves Eric. After all, they grew up together. If I hadn't barged in, maybe they'd be together. But did I really do anything wrong? To be accused and insulted like this? I'm not usually hot-headed, so come on and tell me what you mean. Want me to apologize or drop out as payback? My indifference made Daisy mad. How can you be so cold-blooded? She snapped. Henry, how are you so unaffected? I really misjudged you. Daisy stormed out, slamming the door, and I threw all the packed stuff into the trash outside. I didn't see Daisy for the next few days, not until she returned for the college entrance exam. We rode in silence to the exam site since we had the same location. The 3-day test flew by. As I left the last exam, I let out a sigh of relief. The Wilsons' car was waiting outside. I got in and waited for half an hour before Daisy came out. She immediately checked her phone and then instructed the driver, "Don't go home. Head to Eric's place." I wasn't about to be a third wheel, so I opened the door. "I'm heading back." Daisy was annoyed. "Why are you going back?" "Henry, you have to come with me to see Eric. He's getting out of the hospital today." "What does that have to do with me?" I scoffed. "It has everything to do with you. It's your fault he's in this mess." I didn't do anything. I told Daisy. Eric's problems have nothing to do with me. Don't try to guilt trip me. You're so heartless. I misjudged you. Daisy fumed. When I refused to visit Eric, she threatened, if you don't come with me, then we're breaking up. I shrugged. Fine, let's break up then. Without looking back, I got out of the car. When I got back to the Wilsons, I booked a flight and told Aunt and Uncle about my plans to go home. They were kind and suggested I wait until they could return to accompany me, but I declined. I couldn't stand another minute around Daisy. I knew what was happening with that crowd, and it was only a matter of time before Daisy got caught up. But because of the Wilsons' kindness over the last 3 years, I didn't want her to get played. I didn't want Aunt and Uncle let down either. I sent Aunt the backup audio and video recordings of Eric. After hearing them, Aunt was furious. How could they be so despicable? I'm calling Daisy right now to tell her to get away from those people. Aunt quickly called Daisy, but Daisy ignored her. Even when Aunt warned her about Eric's intentions, she thought I was behind it all. Angry, Daisy texted me. Your malice makes me sick. Henry, I've never hated anyone this much. Around the same time, an unknown account sent me a video. In it, Daisy and Eric's family were toasting in the city's fanciest hotel private room. Everything looked way too cozy. I had a bad feeling. While I could care less if Daisy was exploited, I didn't want Aunt and Uncle upset. As much as they've done for me, Daisy is their only daughter. If she gets used, they'd lose it. I couldn't let those disgusting people win. So, I sent the housekeeper and driver to the hotel from that random account's video. When we got there, it took some effort, but we found out Daisy was moved from the private room, having had too much to drink, and was taken to a hotel room by Eric's parents. Eric walked into the hotel room with Daisy. When the door was busted open, Eric was stark naked, straddling Daisy, trying to take off her pants. He turned his head, and the nasty snarl on his face was as ugly as could be. He screeched, "Damn it, Henry, you bastard. You'll get what's coming to you." What he got in reply was the sound of my slaps echoing around the room. Daisy was rushed to the hospital by an aunt and the driver. She'd taken some kind of hallucinogenic drug. They got her treatment right away at the hospital. Her aunt and uncle, who were abroad, sighed with relief once they knew Daisy was safe. They dropped everything to come back immediately. The next morning, I was already rolling my suitcase out of the Wilsons' villa. Cab took me straight to the airport. Before boarding, I deleted and blocked all Daisy's contact info. As the plane surged into the sky, I looked out at the endless blue and thought, goodbye, Daisy. After that, I put my mind entirely into graduation and travel. I hit up Europe, exploring Germany, France, the UK, Switzerland, and even got to Denmark, where I saw the awe-inspiring Aurora Borealis. I was in Denmark when the college entrance exam results came out. My hard work paid off, and my score was significantly higher than expected, more than 20 points better. I smiled at the screen. I didn't stop my travels after submitting my college applications. I headed to Antarctica next. In Antarctica, I saw penguins, seals, all sorts of seabirds, and took zodiac and rubber boat rides to get up close with icebergs and glaciers. With a guide, I hiked the icy plains and rocky terrains. After more than a month of adventure, I finally headed back home to prepare for my move to M University. Daisy and I had once planned to go to Q University together. QU was Daisy's dream school, not mine, but I was ready to go there for her. After things went south between us, I switched my sights to MU instead. I never expected to see Daisy at MU. She looked worn out. Why? Weren't we supposed to go to QU together? I didn't know how to tell her, but when she chose to stand by Eric, our story ended right then and there. Daisy tried explaining, Eric and I had nothing. It was just sibling-like affection. I never thought he'd stoop so low. She shared that Eric's parents were on the brink of bankruptcy because of poor business decisions, so they wanted to use her. The Wilsons' business had always been booming. Eric's parents aimed for Eric to cozy up to her, hoping she'd fund their company. She mentioned they all, including Eric, had faced consequences. She apologized. "I'm sorry, Henry. I misjudged people. I regret it so much. Can we get back to how things were?" But what's the use now? I told Daisy I never go back. So, you don't need to regret anything either. Keep moving forward. There's a better view ahead waiting for you.